With building this custom sealed subwoofer enclosure, we first started with showing exactly how to get perfect angled cuts when laying out all of the different angled areas of the enclosure. We also decided to try implementing some 3D printing on this project in order to add a subwoofer grill on the front of the box. Now we need to take this enclosure from its raw form to its final form, and we also want to get the subwoofer fully installed so that we can test it out. So to bring you guys more up to speed on this project, we are using the Gladen Audio RSX 10 from our show sponsor, Gladen Audio America. The RSX line is awesome for those that are looking for high-end sound without needing to use a whole lot of power. With its high sensitivity rating, you can expect more output, and with a QTS around 0.46, this subwoofer is in the sweet spot for making it a great choice for a sealed enclosure application. Not only that, it can perform well in a small sealed enclosure. With a target value around 0.6 cubic feet for this 10, it's easy to integrate this into a vehicle. Definitely looking forward to rocking this sub. To learn more, check out the links down in the video description. The first thing I want to do to prepare for our finalization of this enclosure is I want to make a hole for our speaker terminal. I'm going to take off our subwoofer grill pieces for the time being, and in case you missed those previous videos, these have magnets installed into them. Don't forget that you can go back and check out those videos to see the complete design process. Speaking of designing, I also custom designed this speaker terminal that allows me to use these XT90 type connectors. This way I can quick disconnect the enclosure if need be. You guys can go check out that video as well to learn more about this, especially if you would like to get the 3D model. When I designed this part, I designed it to use a 2 1/4 inch cutout, which is a common hole saw size that we can get. Build montage time. So we now officially have our wiring and the wiring terminal ready to go, ready to be installed. But before we can do that, we do need to finish coating this enclosure. Now, a quick reminder, if you do need assistance with the design of a subwoofer enclosure for your vehicle, we have a ton of different options on our website, CarAudioFabrication.com. Be sure to check them out. I'd love to help you out with your project. Now here on the channel, we frequently do more complex upholstery in order to finish these enclosures. But sometimes we like a more simplistic approach, and in this case we're going to be going with the Duratex coating. This is a special coating formulated specifically for speaker enclosures. It's really easy to apply. I have a full video about it, but we're going to use this texture roller to apply it, which leaves more of a texture coating that is kind of rough, and we want to make sure that we don't have that rough coating on this surface here that we're relying on to seal the enclosure with the subwoofer. We want this surface to stay nice and smooth. But if we leave this plain like this, what would happen is when we install the subwoofer, you would still be able to see a small amount of light area from the MDF color. So for this inside mounting flange, I'm first going to apply some flat black paint. When applying this flat black paint, I don't concern myself too much with going onto that outside part where the roundover is, because I know I'm going to cover that with Duratex later. And in the past, I would oftentimes just use a spray paint, but you end up with a lot of overspray. This way I can control a little bit more where the paint ends up. I'm also going to address this small little chamfer around the outside of each of the holes where the subwoofer grill is going to be mounted. Applying the Duratex is really simple as well. I just use the paint tray, pour it in there, use that roller, and carefully cover each of the outside surfaces. The Duratex also dries relatively quickly, so it's easy to apply multiple different coats, along with flipping over the enclosure and coating the backside once it's ready. So after fully coating the enclosure here, I allowed it to dry overnight, and here we are now ready for the subwoofer and for our speaker terminal to be fully installed. We are super close to getting this subwoofer up and playing. Let's start with the terminal. The terminal plate here is designed to use these number 6 3/4 inch long panhead style wood screws. Installation here is super easy. We'll just guide the wiring into place. We'll make sure that this is lined up, and we'll add this screw. And now to secure the subwoofer, we're using number 8 by 1 inch long. Flip this up here, and let's add our subwoofer grills. Never hurts to do a quick double check of polarity. So we are going to go, of course, negative to negative, positive to positive. We'll push our speaker test button. And on the other side, we should see the subwoofer popping out. All right, let's get this installed here. Obviously, we could test in different locations, but let's just go with a basic centered position there. All right, so we are officially now in vehicle, and we're going to do a little bit of a listening test. Now, the disclaimer that I always issue on these videos, keep in mind that if you are watching this video on your phone or another device that doesn't have a subwoofer built in, it's unlikely that you're going to hear the sound that is happening. If you do have a good pair of headphones, typically those can allow you to hear more of the bass frequencies. So it's kind of a silly test to even show this through a video, but I know that you guys like to see it. So nevertheless, let's do it, and let's start with some test tones. So I have the subwoofer currently crossed over at 80 Hertz, so let's start with 63 Hertz since we will then be within the subwoofer range. There's 50, 40, 31, definitely still hearing it. This thing's digging deep. Let's see, can we get down to 25? Oh, I love 25 Hertz, you can feel it. I'm curious, can you guys hear it on your end? Here we are at 25 Hertz. I also took a quick test measurement. Now do keep in mind, this is crossover only, so no equalization applied, but I was impressed to see how deep down this subwoofer is playing, below 20 Hertz with plenty of output. Now, of course, part of this is thanks to the cabin gain of the vehicle, which is why we see a bit of a cancellation around 35 Hertz, but for a raw measurement, this is a very nice starting point to begin tuning from. Now, I also evaluated the subwoofer listening to some of my favorite music along with some really fast-paced drum solos, and overall, I found that the subwoofer delivers an exceptional blend of rhythmic agility and deep extension power. Now, during those complex high-speed drum solos, it maintained a perfect transient response, meaning each kick drum hit sounds distinct and impactful rather than blurring into a muddy drone. Now, when transitioning to some of my high-fidelity royalty-free tracks, it demonstrates impressive tonal accuracy, filling the vehicle with a rich and cinematic low end that feels felt as much as it is heard. In summary, it's not just producing noise, there is a definite texture to the sound here, gripping the notes with enough control to stop on a dime the moment the music does. Here's a quick royalty-free track for you guys. This is Bright Eyed Blues. Again, evaluate mainly the bass aspect here. Listen how much this really fills up the cabin. Here's Here's another royalty-free track. This is I Did That. This is more of a bass electronic song. I'm gonna kind of start in the middle where the bass tones are. Let's listen. And with the output level here, we can easily clip my microphone. And in case you were wondering, because it came up a few times when we were doing the 3D printing subwoofer grill there is no rattling issues. I'm sure I'm clipping my microphone a little bit, but no rattles. Outside the vehicle now, I don't know if you can see that, but we're even getting a little bit of window shake. Now don't forget, if you want to see how we built this enclosure with every step of the process, you can check out the full build video playlist. And next time you're looking for a solid subwoofer that does great with minimal power, be sure to check out the RSX line from our show sponsor, Gladen Audio America, at the link down in the video description. A big thanks to them, along with Jerry and the rest of the Patreon membership team, for making these videos possible. And as always, my friends, thank you guys for tuning in and watching.